here is the main system that we're watching right now that is down to the south of us. You see this main rain area here. The center of circulation is now right here, so it's coming out of North Florida, crossing into South Georgia right now. That's the main center of circulation, but you see there that the storm is a lot more than just that center of circulation. It is spreading out really far from it. Here on the, and I'll get it here on this side, on the right-hand side. So here's the track. As the track is moving this way, this is that right front quadrant, and that's where we have these storms that are firing up here, and that's why we have that tornado watch that's in effect for those areas of the Georgia coast, as well as up along the South Carolina coast as well. I'm going to zoom in. Let me get in a little bit tighter here. That's the center of circulation that you're seeing right there coming into the South Georgia area, really between Fargo and St. Mary's. That's that center of circulation that you see right here, and that's the counterclockwise flow going with it. On that right-hand side, that's where we see those heavier showers, really from Jacksonville to St. Mary's up to Brunswick. Let me take you up to Savannah. You can see here some rain in Savannah. Our Cody Alcorn is in Savannah. He had a live report for us at 6. As we went to him live, they had just issued a tornado warning for them. They also have the flash flood warnings in effect. Here is that tornado warning. That's right around the Beaufort area. So here, I'm going to put this into live mode so you can see this right here. Here's Hilton Head, all right? There's Beaufort right up here. There's the coastline going up to Edisto Beach. So this is where we have this tornado warning with the hook there as this is moving inland, where we have the potential for a tornado. And that's what happens a lot of times with these landfalling tropical systems. We can see in those bands that rotate around the system, the potential for some tornadoes or some rotation within that. So there's a look now at that main area, and the problem is with this, it is a very slow mover. So all of this rain that you're seeing isn't just going to stop tomorrow. This isn't moving out anytime soon at all. It's going to take a while before it treks across the southeastern coastal area there, and it's going to be dumping a lot of rain. So here's a look at the latest forecast track. Now, this is the 8 o'clock advisory. The track hasn't really changed from the 5 o'clock advisory that we showed you at 6 o'clock tonight on 11 Alive News. But the strength has come down a little bit. We had 50-mile-an-hour winds earlier when we were showing you this at 6 o'clock from the 5 p.m. advisory. Now it's showing winds at 45 miles an hour, moving northeast at about 6 miles an hour. So that's a really slow mover. So notice here that the center of circulation just into southeast Georgia, all right? So it's still going to take it until tomorrow afternoon. This isn't going to happen overnight where the center of circulation moves into Savannah. It really won't be until tomorrow afternoon until that main center of circulation moves into near Savannah. Then you'll see here that the center goes out over water, curves back inland there, most likely along the South Carolina coastline, and that's Thursday afternoon. So we're going to be talking about this system here for days and days, and the models are still not in agreement as to what happens after that. The hurricane track here shows it curving back up toward the mid-Atlantic region. Some models are trying to show it pushing back in over toward the west to bring some of that rain back toward us. We're not going with that yet. We're waiting to see what some of the additional models show there. It's really hard for the models. There's just not a lot steering this system to give it a lot of forward speed. And so that's why the models are having a hard time kind of, showing where they think it's going to happen or where it's going to go, and the intensity track with it too. For those of you on Facebook, again, thanks for watching. Your better experience will be going to 11alive.com, 11 Alive Plus, our YouTube channel, or any of our streaming apps to get a better view of this, because I'm really focusing more into this camera, but I just kind of have you here off to the side. I might be able to get into some of your questions here in just a minute as well. Here's a look at the Georgia impacts. Now, the storm track is mainly going to be moving slowly through southeast Georgia and there along the Georgia coast. The greatest impacts will be in southeast Georgia and in those coastal regions. Those impacts will be severe weather threat, very heavy rain, a flooding risk. You're also going to be dealing with wind down there in parts of South Georgia. For the metro area, our impacts still look minimal. Now, if you notice today, if you were outside or out and about, you probably noticed some breezes, all right? Not really crazy wind or anything like that. We're not talking about tropical storm force winds or anything here, but You may have noticed the wind kicking up a little bit at times, and not even really a sustained wind. It's just really some wind gusts that we occasionally have during the day today at about 15 to 25 miles an hour. Over in Athens, more to the east of us, toward Augusta as well, down toward the Eatonton area, those winds may be at about 30 miles an hour. Again, wind gusts at 30 miles an hour or greater. So the farther south you go and the farther east you go is where the winds kick up a little bit more and where you're going to see more of a rain chance there too. The severe weather threat, as I mentioned, is mainly on that right front quadrant there as it's moving up toward the north and east. Those are the areas most likely to see the severe weather. That's where we have the slight risk and the marginal risk or level 1 risk there around that. But again, on this side of the track, even though we may have some bands of rain developing there, we don't expect any severe weather. Then on Tuesday, that severe weather threat is mainly up toward the Charleston area, and then it's really just along the coastal regions here on Wednesday, but it is a slow-moving system. Here's a look at the tropical alerts. A lot of times when you think of a tropical storm warning, you think of it being along the coastline, but this tropical storm warning goes well inland, and here's a look. Everything you see there in blue, I'm zooming in a little bit tighter so you can see the northern extent of that tropical storm warning that we have right now. And it's pretty much as far north as Dublin. That's in Lawrence County in central Georgia. So this is all, here's Macon. All right, can y'all see that? There's Macon right here. So it doesn't really go as far north as Macon. It's Dublin, Swainsboro, Statesboro, Georgia Southern. You're included in this tropical storm warning. It goes over to Rincon over in parts of Effingham County. It includes Savannah, there in Chatham County, up toward Beaufort, and up along the South Carolina coastline where they have that severe, or actually have that tropical storm warning that is in effect. Now let's talk about the wind, because that is going to be the main thing that we have the potential to experience here. And even with that, it's just going to be some wind gusts. Nothing really blustery or crazy winds or anything like that. So we're seeing the potential, maybe by 10 o'clock tonight in the next hour, 15-mile-an-hour wind gust, 18-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Athens and Eatonton. You'll notice here that, again, more east and south you go, that's where you get closer to those stronger storms. And you see the purples and reds, it really ramps up as you head over, toward Augusta, along down I-16, as I mentioned, toward the Dublin area, toward Statesboro, toward Vidalia, over to Savannah. That's where they're having those stronger winds. So tonight, we're just dealing with just some of those wind gusts. In the morning, maybe 17-mile-an-hour wind gusts here, but again, over into Athens and Covington even, Thomaston, maybe 20 to 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts in the morning. Into the afternoon, Atlanta, lunchtime around 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I want to go back, though, if I can, to that noon time frame. Is it going to let me scroll back? No, I've got this in play mode, so it's not letting me go back. But that's where I was showing in Athens and Eatonton 30 to 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, 22 to 26-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Athens and Eatonton. Will be at about 18-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It calms down more on Wednesday, maybe ramping up a little bit in the afternoon Wednesday. But really, it's going to be tonight, you'll hear some breezes. Also during the day tomorrow, those wind gusts between 15 and 25 miles an hour here, a little higher over on the east side and also to the south of us. As far as rainfall, we're just seeing a couple of those little pockets of little rain that kind of rotates around that system on the back side of it, but we're not looking at widespread rainfall here. In fact, you can see from the track that I'm showing you here, those higher rainfall amounts will be to the south and east of us. What is interesting to see, though, here is that for the people who get no rain here, and then maybe a little bit over in the Eatonton area, but then just south of that, the gradient is a very small area for those people who get no rain to those who get a lot. So this goes from about less than a half inch here, the green, to around an inch to an inch and a half there, then to 2 to maybe 3 inches here, and then in the reds and yellows, that's what we're talking about, 3-4+ inches of rain. And there are going to be a lot of spots along the Georgia coast and in southeast Georgia that could see the potential of more than 10 inches of rain, and maybe even some spots on the Georgia coast and the South Carolina coast seeing possibly up to 20 inches of rain. We've seen a lot of variations in some of the modeling there on who could see some of those heaviest rainfall amounts. But for us, we're not expecting much of that rain here at all. So we also have the flood watch and flood warnings now in parts of South Georgia. And I want to show you again, we'll zoom in a little bit tighter so you can see the extent of how far north the flood watches go. And I think I can move this over a little bit for you. Pretty much it does not include Lake Oconee and Eatonton there in Putnam County. It does not include Milledgeville either. Yesterday, the flood watch included Baldwin County, which is Milledgeville, but now Milledgeville has been taken out of it. But look toward Toomsboro, Davisboro, Dublin, Swainsboro, the green counties that you see there. That's the flood watch. But then look at this, the red that you see out I-16, including Vidalia, Claxton, Statesboro, Hinesville, Darien, Savannah, Rincon, Beaufort, up toward Charleston, you are in flood warnings right now, as we expect the flooding there is going to be a lot more intense. So here's a look at what we're watching with the forecast track. You can see here that main rain shield well down to the south of us, all right? We may have on the back side of the system, you see that flow kind of coming around here behind that? That's where we see some of that flow coming in with just a few little showers around. We may see a couple of those during the day tomorrow. Rain chance is going to remain on the low end with that main rain shield staying well to the east of us over into the Carolinas. And then again, maybe just a little bit of wraparound moisture here to give us just a couple of showers here and there. Now, one of the models is trying to kick some of these showers back closer to us. We're going to wait on that before we commit to it because we don't think that we'll have a big time chance of a lot more rain coming in here by the end of the week. But again, that's something we're going to watch. Here's the European model showing all that rain in association with the center of that circulation. And then that model pretty much is similar to what the Hurricane Center is showing as well, taking that rain away from us. So our impacts here, pretty minimal. I'm going to let you go right now. I will let you know, please tune in tonight to 11 Alive News. We're going to have live team coverage for you, and we'll have the latest track that comes out at 11 o'clock on 11 Alive News tonight, right after the Olympics. Thanks for watching.